intimate, like sharing a secret in the dark. It's 2 in the morning when I find him for the first time. I can't sleep. The house is too quiet. Or maybe I'm just not used to having a child here yet. So I go downstairs for water, and that's when I see it. The cabinet door under the kitchen sink, slightly ajar. A sliver of darkness that shouldn't be there. My first thought is that we forgot to close it. My second thought, as I get closer, is that something's wrong with the pipes. But then I hear it. Breathing. Soft and steady. The sound of sleep. I open the cabinet door slowly, carefully, and there he is. A 10-year-old boy, curled impossibly small in that cramped space. His backpack as a pillow. A stuffed elephant clutched to his chest. His jacket pulled over him like a blanket. His face peaceful, in a way I haven't seen during the day. He looks comfortable. He looks safe. This is when I know, really know, that the 3 months we've been preparing for him, the room we painted, the bed we bought, the welcome we tried to create, none of it means anything yet. Because safety, to this boy, isn't a soft bed or a room with his name on the door. Safety is a space so small that no one would think to look for him there. Chapter 1. Before. Let me tell you how we got here. Not the legal details or the case numbers, but the real story. The one that matters. His name is Marcus. I'll use it now because he's learning that his name can be said with love instead of anger. For years, he answered to other things. Worthless, mistake, burden. Words that became more real to him than his own name. His mother met a man when Marcus was 5. She was struggling, alone, exhausted by single parenthood. This man seemed like an answer. He had a job, he had a house, he said he'd help. What he had was a need for control, and a belief that children were property, not people. It started small. Rules about noise, rules about where Marcus could be in the house, rules about when he could speak. His mother, desperate to keep this relationship, to keep this help, enforced them, added her own. Then came the cupboard. Marcus's room became storage. He became something to be stored. At night, he was locked in the cupboard under the stairs. A space 3 feet wide, 4 feet deep, 5 feet tall, just big enough for a child who learned to make himself small. The man said it taught discipline, that Marcus needed to learn his place, that food and comfort and light were privileges earned through perfect behavior. And perfect behavior, for a terrified 6-year-old, is impossible. He stayed in that cupboard for hours, sometimes all night, sometimes 16 hours straight when they decided he'd been bad. No light, no bathroom breaks, a blanket if he was lucky. When he was allowed out, he had to be silent, invisible. He ate standing up in the kitchen, quickly, while they watched TV in the other room. Leftover scraps most days, full meals only when social workers came around. He went to school. He was quiet there, too. Teachers thought he was shy, polite, well-behaved. They didn't see the flinching, or they saw it and didn't know what it meant. His father tried. God, Marcus's father tried everything. But the courts believed the mother. She was convincing. She had a house, a partner, stability on paper. She moved without warning, changed numbers, made allegations that were lies but convincing lies. Then came the pills. Opioids at first, then whatever she could get. Marcus's mother disappeared into addiction, and when she did, she left her son with the man who saw him as less than human. Days alone with someone who hated his existence. Days of silence and hunger and darkness. Until a teacher noticed. Really noticed. Not just the quietness, but the weight loss, the bruises, the way Marcus flinched when someone dropped a book. She called CPS. They investigated. They found the cupboard. They found the locks. They found a boy who weighed 30 pounds less than he should. They got him out. After years of his father fighting, after years of bureaucracy and delays and injustice, they finally got him out. And his father, who never stopped fighting, who never stopped loving his son even when the system wouldn't let him near, brought Marcus here. To us. To this house. To what we hoped would be safety. That was 3 months ago.
3 months of Marcus living here?
in a house with food and warmth and people who want him. 3 months of us learning that rescue and healing are not the same thing. 3 months of finding him under the kitchen sink. Chapter 2. The weight of small things. You learn someone's trauma by watching how they move through space. Marcus walks on his toes. Not always, but often. Especially when he's nervous. He moves through the house like he's trying not to disturb the air itself. In the morning, he wakes before anyone else. 5:30. Every day. He makes his bed with hospital corners, perfect and tight. He arranges his stuffed animals in a precise line. He folds his pajamas and puts them under his pillow. Then, he stands in his room and waits. He's waiting for permission to leave. Waiting for someone to tell him he's allowed to start his day. The first week we didn't understand. We thought he was just an early riser, content in his room. Then his therapist explained, he's waiting for someone to unlock the door. There is no lock on his door. There never was. But his body doesn't know that yet. Now, one of us goes to his room around 6. We knock softly. We say, "Good morning." We tell him breakfast is ready whenever he wants it. He always says, "I'm sorry for making you come get me." Every single morning. An apology for existing in time and space. Watch what happens when a door closes too quickly. Marcus's whole body goes rigid. His eyes go flat. He's not here anymore. He's back in that house, calculating danger, measuring how bad it will be. Car horns make him duck. Raised voices, even happy ones, make him freeze. The sound of footsteps approaching his room at night sends him diving under his blanket. He apologizes for everything. I'm sorry when he drops a pencil. I'm sorry when he asks for water. I'm sorry when he laughs too loud at something funny. I'm sorry when he's hungry. I'm sorry when he needs to use the bathroom. I'm sorry for taking up space, for breathing air, for being visible. Each apology is a translation of what he learned, that his presence was an imposition, that his needs were burdens, that simply existing as a child, clumsy, hungry, needing things, was worthy of punishment. We tell him he doesn't need to apologize. We tell him over and over, but words don't reach the place where this lesson lives. His body tells the story, his mouth can't. He sits on the edge of furniture, never fully settling in, ready to jump up, to move, to disappear if needed. He eats quickly, protectively, hunched over his plate like someone might take it away. He hoards food everywhere. We find granola bars in his pillowcase, crackers behind his books, fruit snacks in his backpack, his dresser, his closet. Little caches of survival hidden around the house like a squirrel preparing for winter. Except winter for Marcus isn't seasonal. It's a permanent state he's preparing for. The winter of hunger, of punishment, of adults who say the food will be there tomorrow, but lie. His therapist says not to take the food away, not to scold or explain or rationalize, just to keep reassuring him that the kitchen is always open. That food isn't a weapon or a reward, that it's just food and it's his whenever he wants it. So we do. We find a stash, we tell him the kitchen is always open, and we leave it alone, and he nods, believes us with his head, and keeps hiding food with his body. And almost every night, I find him under the kitchen sink. Not in his beautiful room with the blue walls, not in his bed with the soft sheets that smell like lavender, not curled up on the couch or even on the floor of his room. Under the kitchen sink, in the dark, in the cramped space that should be uncomfortable but somehow isn't. Not to him. I asked him once, very gently, why he liked it there. He looked at me with eyes too old for his face and said, so softly I almost couldn't hear, "No one can find me here. It's quiet, and I can hear if someone's coming. No one can find me here." Safety isn't about comfort for Marcus, it's about control. It's about seeing the danger before it sees you. It's about making yourself so small, so hidden, so invisible that you might just survive the night. The cupboard taught him that. The cupboard made him believe that love is dangerous. Visibility is dangerous. Comfort is dangerous. Only the dark is safe. I didn't know what to say. What do you say to a child whose survival depended on hiding? How do you explain that hiding isn't necessary anymore when his entire nervous system is screaming that it is? So I did the only thing I could. I sat on the floor beside the cabinet. I told him I wasn't going anywhere, and I rubbed his back through the gap in the door until he fell back asleep. I've done this 17 times now. I'll do it 100 more if that's what he needs. Chapter 3. His Father's Goodbye. Every weekday morning, Marcus's father gets ready for work. Shower at 6:15, coffee at 6:30, keys and wallet at 6:45. A normal routine, the kind that happens in millions of homes without incident. For Marcus, it's a daily disaster. It starts around 6:20. Marcus hears the shower turn off, and something shifts in him. He stops whatever he's doing, eating breakfast, watching cartoons, playing with his toys. He goes still. Then he starts following his father, room to room, not saying anything, just orbiting closer and closer, like gravity is pulling him in. His father knows. He moves slower during this routine. He narrates what he's doing. Just getting my shoes, buddy. Just grabbing my jacket. Trying to make it predictable. Trying to make it safe. It doesn't matter. The fear is bigger than logic. When his father picks up his keys, Marcus breaks. He doesn't cry at first. He just stands there, fists clenched, breathing too fast, trying so hard to be good, to not be a burden, to not make this harder. But then his father says, "I'll see you tonight, Marcus. I love you." And that's when the dam bursts. Marcus launches himself at his father. His small arms wrap around his waist in a death grip. His face buries in his father's chest, and he sobs. These aren't manipulative tears or boundary testing. This is pure terror. "Please don't go, please. What if you don't come back? What if she finds me? What if he comes here? What if they take me back? Please, Dad, please don't leave me." His father holds him, sits down on the floor with Marcus in his lap and just holds him. He promises he'll be back. Promises he'll call at lunch. Promises this is different. This is safe. This is forever. He shows Marcus his phone. "See? Your number is right here. You can call me anytime. Anytime at all." He shows Marcus the calendar. "I'll be home at 5:30, right here, see? And tomorrow I'll be home again. And the next day, every single day." But promises, to Marcus, are lies adults tell before they disappear. His mother promised she'd protect him. She didn't. She promised the cupboard was temporary. It wasn't. She promised she'd get better. She didn't. Words are just sounds. Only actions matter. And the action happening right now is his father leaving. It takes 20 minutes to separate them. 20 minutes of reassurance and holding and promises. Finally, Marcus's father has to physically unwrap his son's arms and hand him to me. Marcus is shaking, crying, but he stopped begging. That might be the worst part, watching him go from desperate pleading to defeated acceptance. His father leaves. Marcus watches the door close, watches his father walk to the car through the window, watches the car pull away. And then he goes to his closet. He walks to his room, opens the closet door, steps inside, and closes it behind him. The first time this happened, I panicked. I thought he was hurt, hiding. Something was terribly wrong. I opened the door immediately. He was just sitting there, in the dark, knees pulled to his chest, rocking slightly. His therapist explained it later. He's regulating. The small, dark space is familiar. It's where he feels in control. Fighting it, forcing him out, would only make it worse. It would teach him that even his coping mechanisms aren't safe. So now I wait. I sit outside the closet door with my back against the wall, and I talk. About nothing important, just presence through sound. I'm making spaghetti for lunch, the kind with the little meatballs you like. Silence from inside. I saw a cardinal in the yard this morning, really bright red. Pretty. Silence. Your dad said he'll call during his lunch break. That's in about 3 hours. Silence. But maybe his breathing slows a little. Eventually, he comes out. Sometimes after 10 minutes, sometimes after an hour. He opens the door slowly, testing, checking if the world outside is still safe. I pretend it's completely normal. Because right now, for him, it is. Hey, buddy, want to help me with lunch? And he nods, and we go to the kitchen, and we cook together. And for a little while, the morning's terror fades to background noise. At noon, like clockwork, Marcus's father calls. Marcus's whole body changes when the phone rings. He grabs it like it's life support. Dad? Hey, Marcus, just calling like I promised. I'm on my lunch break. Marcus doesn't say much during these calls. He mostly just listens to his father talk about work, about what he had for lunch, about the funny thing a coworker said. Normal stuff, boring stuff, beautiful stuff. Proof that his father exists. Proof that he's coming back. Proof that the world hasn't swallowed him whole. The calls last maybe 5 minutes. Before hanging up, his father always says, I'll be home at 5:30. I love you. And Marcus always says, so quietly, okay, love you too. Then Marcus spends the afternoon watching the clock. Literally, he sits where he can see it and watches the minutes tick by. 5 hours and 27 minutes until Dad comes home. 5 hours and 14 minutes until Dad comes home. 4 hours and 52 minutes until Dad comes home. At 5:25, Marcus stations himself by the front window, waiting, watching. And when his father's car pulls into the driveway at exactly 5:30, Marcus runs. He's at the door before his father can even get his keys out. When his father walks in, Marcus doesn't launch himself this time. He just stands there, checking, verifying, making sure his father is real and whole and actually home. See, his father says, kneeling down to Marcus's level. I told you I'd come back. I always come back. And Marcus nods, but he doesn't believe it yet. Tomorrow morning, they'll do this all over again. Chapter 4. Learning his language. Shifting to observation, to small moments. Healing isn't linear. It's not a straight line from broken to fixed. It's a messy spiral where you revisit the same fears over and over, each time from a slightly different angle. Marcus teaches me this daily. He doesn't talk about what happened to him, not directly. He's 10. He doesn't have the words for it yet. And even if he did, talking about it means making it real all over again. But he shows me, in the way he moves, in what he does and doesn't do, in the patterns he creates. He checks locks constantly. The front door, the back door, his bedroom door, even though it doesn't lock. He touches them, tests them, needs to know they're secure. Not to keep himself in, to keep everyone else out. He memorizes exits. In every room, he knows where the doors and windows are. I watch him do this calculation when we go somewhere new. His eyes scan, catalog, plan. Where can I run if I need to? He takes the fastest showers I've ever seen, in and out in 3 minutes. His therapist says it's because bathrooms were dangerous in his old life. Locked doors meant being trapped. Vulnerability meant opportunity for harm. So he rushes, gets clean and gets out before danger can find him. He never takes the last of anything. If there are 3 cookies left, he'll take 1. If there's half a jug of milk, he'll leave it for someone else. He's rationing, making sure there's always something left. Because taking the last means someone might go without, and someone going without means anger, and anger means punishment. We tell him he can have the last cookie, that there are more in the pantry, that we can always buy more. He still doesn't take the last of anything. He doesn't initiate touch, ever. Doesn't ask for hugs or reach for hands or seek physical comfort. But he allows it, slowly, carefully. If I sit beside him, he doesn't move away anymore. He stays. Sometimes he leans, just slightly, into the space between us. If I put my hand on his shoulder, he doesn't flinch anymore. He goes still, but not frozen, just receiving. These are victories. They might not look like much, but they're everything. A child who was hurt through touch, learning that touch can be safe. A child who was punished for taking up space, learning that space can be shared. A child who was taught his needs were burdens, learning that needs are just part of being human. It's slow. God, it's so slow. Some days it feels like we're not making any progress at all. There are hard days. Days when Marcus can't get out of bed. Days when he won't eat. Days when he hides for hours and won't come out even when we call softly through the door. Days when some trigger we can't identify sends him spiraling back into survival mode, and all we can do is wait it out. His therapist gives us tools, grounding techniques, ways to help Marcus come back to the present when the past swallows him. Can you name 5 things you can see? Marcus looks around, eyes distant. Wall, window, couch, lamp, table. Good. 4 things you can touch? He reaches out slowly. Floor, my shirt, pillow, your hand. 3 things you can hear. He listens. Your voice, the fridge humming, a car outside. 2 things you can smell? Coffee, soap. 1 thing you can taste? The juice I had. And slowly, so slowly, he comes back. His breathing settles. His eyes focus. The present becomes more real than the past. I'm sorry, he says. You don't have to be sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. But he doesn't believe that yet either. School is complicated. Marcus is smart, so smart, but he can't focus. He's too busy monitoring the room, tracking who's where, making sure he's safe. He sits in the back corner, always. He needs walls behind him, visibility in front of him. The teacher understands. She lets him have his spot. He doesn't play with other kids at recess. He stands near the wall and watches. Sometimes, a kind child will try to include him, but Marcus doesn't know how to play. He doesn't know the rules of games, the language of friendship. He knows the rules of survival. That's a different curriculum entirely. The school counselor works with him. Baby steps. Say hi to 1 person today. Smile at someone. Sit near a group even if you don't talk to them. Building a bridge from isolation to connection, 1 plank at a time. His teacher keeps a box of crackers in her desk, just for Marcus. She noticed he never eats his lunch, that he hides it in his backpack instead. So she offers him crackers during the day, casual. Hey Marcus, I have too many crackers. Want to help me eat them? He takes them, eats slowly, checks to make sure it's really okay. She never makes him explain, never asks why he doesn't eat lunch. She just offers crackers and kindness, and a space where he's allowed to be exactly as he is. His grades are all over the place. A's in reading, he escapes into books. C's and D's in everything else. How do you focus on math when your brain is stuck in survival mode? The teacher writes on his report card, Marcus is making progress. He's learning to feel safe. That's the most important lesson right now. She gets it. Education can wait. Safety can't. Chapter 5. The Small Archaeology of Healing. Warmth entering, like sunlight through clouds. But there are good moments, too. Small victories that feel like miracles. Marcus sits beside me on the couch. Not at the far end, not with careful distance. Actually, beside me. close enough that our shoulders touch. The first time it happens, I hold my breath. I don't move, don't adjust, don't do anything that might remind him to be afraid. I just sit there, feeling the weight of his trust, and watch whatever's on TV without seeing any of it. After a while, he leans his head against my shoulder, just rests it there, like it's the most natural thing in the world. I feel something break open in my chest, something painful and beautiful at the same time. This child, who was taught that closeness means danger, is choosing to be close. I don't say anything, don't move. Just let him rest there until he's ready to move on his own. It lasts maybe 5 minutes. Then he sits up, goes back to watching TV like nothing happened. But something did happen. Something huge. He watches me cook now, comes in voluntarily, stands nearby, asks questions. "What are you making?" "Chicken stir-fry. Want to help?" "Can I help?" 3 words that contain a universe of hope. Hope that his help would be wanted. Hope that he has something to offer. Hope that he belongs here, in this kitchen, in this life. Of course you can help. I'd love that. I give him simple tasks: washing vegetables, stirring sauce, setting the table. He does each one with intense concentration, like it's the most important job in the world. Maybe it is. Maybe proving he's useful, that he's good for something, that he deserves to stay. Maybe that's the most important job he's ever had. We make scrambled eggs together. His job is whisking. He whisks long after the eggs are fully beaten, because I praised how well he was doing, and he wants to keep earning that approval. While we cook, we talk about small things, safe things. "What's your favorite color?" "Blue," he says. "That's a good favorite color." These conversations are practice. Practice for having preferences, for expressing opinions, for existing as a person with thoughts and feelings. He folds laundry without being asked. He sees me sorting clothes and just starts helping. He matches socks with the focus of a surgeon, lines them up perfectly, makes neat stacks of shirts and pants. "You're really good at this," I tell him. "Mom used to hit me if I folded wrong," he says, matter of fact. Not sad, just explaining. My heart stops, but I keep my voice calm. "Well, there's no wrong way to fold here. However you do it is perfect." He nods, keeps folding, testing this new truth against the old one. Bedtime is getting better, slowly. He still doesn't sleep in his bed most nights, but sometimes, for the first few hours, he does. He gets in bed, pulls the covers up, tries. Around midnight, fear wins. He gets up, takes his pillow, and goes to sleep under the sink. But those first few hours in bed, they're progress. We got him a nightlight. Not just any nightlight, one that projects stars on the ceiling. "So even in the dark, you can see something beautiful," I told him when we plugged it in. He stared at those stars for an hour that first night, just lay in bed, looking up, watching the slow rotation of constellations. He still ended up under the sink, but he spent an hour under stars first. He reads constantly, escapes into stories about kids who are brave, who go on adventures, who save the day. Harry Potter is his favorite. A boy who lived in a cupboard and became a hero. I don't think it's a coincidence. "Did Harry stop being scared?" he asks me one night. I think he was always a little scared, but he did brave things anyway. Even though he lived in a cupboard? Especially because he lived in a cupboard. He knew what it was like to be small and scared. That made him braver, not weaker. Marcus thinks about this. So, being scared doesn't mean I'm bad? Being scared means you're smart. It means you're paying attention. Brave isn't not being scared. Brave is being scared and doing the thing anyway. He nods, returns to his book, but I can see the wheels turning. Marcus's father has to go out of town for work. One night, just one. Marcus knows about it for 2 weeks in advance. We prepare. We talk about it constantly. We make plans. I'll be here, I promise, the whole time. And Dad will call before bed and first thing in the morning. The day his father leaves, Marcus is barely holding it together. He's shaking, won't eat. follows me from room to room. When his father says goodbye, Marcus doesn't cry. He's gone somewhere else, somewhere beyond crying. After his father leaves, Marcus goes to his closet, stays there for 3 hours. I sit outside the door the entire time, talking occasionally, mostly just being present. That night is hard. Dinner is hard. Marcus picks at his food. Bath time is hard. He rushes through so fast I'm not sure he actually washed. Bedtime is impossible. He won't even try his bed. He goes straight to the cabinet under the sink and crawls in. "Can I sit with you?" I ask. He nods. I sit on the floor beside the cabinet, reach through and rub his back. "Your dad is at his hotel now. He texted me a picture. Want to see?" I show him my phone. His father in a boring hotel room, giving a thumbs up. He's going to call in 10 minutes to say goodnight. What if he doesn't? He will. He always does. The phone rings. Marcus scrambles out just enough to take it. "Dad?" "Hey, buddy. I'm here, safe, just like I said. I'm getting ready for bed." They talk for 15 minutes. Marcus doesn't say much, but he listens. Soaks in every word like it's water and he's dying of thirst. "I love you, Marcus. I'll call first thing in the morning." "Okay, love you too." After the call, Marcus goes back under the sink. I stay beside him, all night. I doze sitting up, wake when he stirs, reassure him I'm still here. Around 3 a.m., his hand reaches out from the cabinet, finds mine, holds on. We stay like that until morning. His father comes home the next evening, earlier than planned. When he walks through the door, Marcus runs, actually runs, launches himself into his father's arms. His father catches him, holds him, says all the right things. And Marcus sobs, finally sobs, all the fear from the past 24 hours pouring out. "You came back," Marcus says over and over. "You came back." I always come back. I always will. That night, Marcus sleeps in his bed, not under the sink, for the whole night. It's the first time since he moved in. Chapter 6. Setbacks and Steps Forward. I need to tell you about the bad days too. Because healing isn't a straight line, and pretending it is helps no one. 2 months in, Marcus has a nightmare. A bad one. He wakes up screaming. Actually screaming. Something I've never heard from him before. I run to his room. He's tangled in his sheets, fighting them. Eyes wide, but not seeing. Marcus, you're safe. You're home. You're safe." He doesn't hear me. He's somewhere else, someone else, some version of himself who's still locked in that cupboard, still waiting for the pain. He's screaming words. "Please, I'm sorry. I'll be good. Please don't. I'm sorry." I don't know what to do. Every instinct says to grab him, hold him, pull him back. But his therapist warned us. Touching him during a flashback could make it worse. So I sit on the floor where he can see me, and I talk. "Marcus, it's me. You're in your room, the room with blue walls. You're safe. No one's going to hurt you." Over and over, a litany of safety. Eventually, he sees me, really sees me. His screaming stops. His breathing is ragged, desperate. "They were here," he whispers. "They found me. They're not here. They can't get to you. Your dad and I won't let them. You promise?" I want to promise. God, I want to promise. But his therapist's words echo. Don't make promises you can't guarantee. I promise I will do everything in my power to keep you safe. Your dad promises the same thing. And there are laws now, court orders, that say you stay here with us. It's not the unqualified promise he wants, but it's the truth. He doesn't go back to sleep. Neither do I. We go downstairs, make hot chocolate, watch cartoons until the sun comes up. His father finds us on the couch at 6 a.m., both exhausted. Bad night? Bad night. Marcus crawls into his father's lap. 10 years old, too big for this really, but needing it anyway. We call in sick for everything that day. Work, school, all of it. We stay home, stay together, prove that the nightmare was just a nightmare. After the nightmare, Marcus regresses, goes backward. He won't let his father out of his sight, won't eat unless his father is in the room, won't go upstairs alone. The cabinet under the sink becomes his bed again, every night, no exceptions. His therapist says this is normal. Trauma recovery isn't linear. You make progress, something triggers you, you go back to old coping mechanisms. The key is not to shame the regression, just to keep showing up, keep being steady. So we do. It takes us a week to figure out what triggered the nightmare. A news story about a child abuse case. Marcus saw it before we could change the channel. His trauma isn't theoretical or past. It's in the news. It happens to other kids, right now. That makes it real again, makes him remember that the world isn't safe. He starts checking locks again obsessively, asking multiple times a day if the doors are locked, if the security system is on, if we're sure they can't find him. We answer every time, patient, reassuring. Yes, the doors are locked. Yes, the alarm is on. Yes, we're sure. Over and over, as many times as he needs. He refuses to go to school for 3 days. Not tantrum refuses, just can't. He gets dressed, gets his backpack, walks to the car. And then he freezes, physically cannot get in. I can't, he whispers. What if something happens while I'm gone? What if they come? We don't force it. Forcing would just teach him that his fear doesn't matter. Instead, we negotiate. What if Dad stayed home today too? Would that help? It does. His father works from home. Marcus does schoolwork at the kitchen table nearby. They're in the same room all day. The next day, same thing. The third day, we try something different. What if you went for just 1 hour, just to see your teacher and come home? He agrees. 1 hour. 1 hour becomes 2 hours. 2 hours becomes half a day. Half a day becomes full day. It takes 2 weeks to get back to normal. Each step forward, hard won. Each step back, met with patience instead of frustration. One night, out of nowhere, Marcus asks, "Why didn't my mom love me?" What do you say to that? How do you explain addiction, mental illness, abuse cycles to a 10-year-old? How do you say your mom was sick without making it sound like an excuse? How do you say she made terrible choices without making him think he was the cause? Your mom, she was fighting battles you couldn't see, inside her head, inside her heart, and those battles made it hard for her to be the mom you deserved. But I tried to be good. I know you did, sweetheart, but it wasn't about you. It was never about you. You were always good enough, always worthy of love. She just couldn't see it because of her own pain. He's quiet for a long time. Do you think she misses me? Oh, God. The hope in his voice. The hope that, despite everything, maybe she cared. I don't know, I tell him honestly. I hope she does. I hope somewhere in there, she knows what she lost. I miss her sometimes, he whispers, even though she was mean. Is that weird? It's not weird. She's your mom. You're allowed to miss her. You're allowed to love her and be angry at her and miss her and be scared of her all at the same time. He nods, processes. I don't want to see her, though. That's okay, too. You get to decide that. These conversations are landmines. One wrong word could damage the fragile healing we're building. But not talking would be worse. Silence taught Marcus he didn't matter. We have to show him his feelings matter, even the complicated ones, even the ones that don't make sense. 3.5 months in, something changes. It's not dramatic, not obvious, just a shift. Marcus wakes up and doesn't immediately check if the doors are locked. He comes downstairs, says good morning, pours himself cereal. Like it's normal, like he belongs here. He's done this before, but something's different today. He's relaxed, just slightly, just enough to notice. His father is reading the news on his phone. Marcus is eating cereal. I'm making coffee. And Marcus speaks first. Dad, can we go to the park this weekend? Not, I'm sorry, but not, if it's okay. Just a simple request, a desire expressed clearly. His father looks up, catches my eye. We both recognize the moment for what it is. Yeah, absolutely. We can go Saturday. Okay, cool. Cool. He said cool. This child who speaks in apologies and whispers just said cool like a regular kid. Saturday comes. We go to the park. Marcus has been before, but he's always stayed close, always watched other kids instead of playing. Today, he walks toward the swings. Not to watch, to swing. He's not good at it yet. His legs don't pump with the right rhythm. He doesn't go very high. But he's trying. He's choosing to do something just because it might be fun. A girl about his age is on the next swing. She's going high, laughing. Marcus watches her. I brace for the flinch, the withdrawal. Instead, he smiles, just a little, just a small curve of his mouth, and he tries to pump his legs like she does, tries to go higher. You've got it, the girl calls over. Keep kicking out. Marcus does, goes a little higher. Yeah, she cheers. And Marcus laughs. A real laugh, not nervous or forced. A genuine sound of joy bubbling up from somewhere unguarded. The girl grins at him. Race you to the slide. She takes off running. And Marcus, after only a second of hesitation, runs after her. I watch this boy who couldn't let his father leave the house without breaking down, who hid in closets and under sinks, who apologized for breathing. I watch him play. He climbs the slide ladder, waits his turn, goes down laughing. The girl is already at the bottom. Again! They run, they play. For 20 minutes, Marcus is just a kid. Eventually, he comes back, out of breath, cheeks flushed. Did you see me? I saw you. You were so fast. Her name is Sophie. She goes to a different school. Did you have fun? He nods. Yeah, can we come back next week? Absolutely. He runs off again. Back to Sophie, back to playing. His father puts his arm around my shoulders. We stand there watching, neither of us trusting our voices. That night, Marcus tries to sleep in his bed. Actually tries. He gets in, pulls the covers up, turns on his star nightlight. Good night, he calls out, like he's been doing this his whole life. Good night, Marcus. We love you. Love you too. At midnight, I go downstairs for water. Check the cabinet out of habit. At midnight, I go downstairs for water. Check the cabinet out of habit. He's there, asleep under the sink. But I'm not disappointed, because he tried, and he played at the park, and he made a friend. One step forward, half a step back. That's still forward. I sit beside the cabinet like always, reach in and touch his shoulder. You did so good today, I whisper. I'm so proud of you. He doesn't wake up, but his breathing settles. Like even asleep, he hears me. Marcus asks to go back to the park, asks if we can invite Sophie. I get her mom's number. We plan a play date. Sophie and her mom come to our house. Marcus is nervous but excited. He shows Sophie his room, his books, his toys. They play, build with Legos, watch a movie. Normal kid things. Sophie's mom watches them, then turns to me. Sophie really likes Marcus. She said he's really nice. He is. He's the gentlest kid I've ever known. She mentioned he's quiet sometimes, that he gets worried about things. I choose my words carefully. He's been through a lot. He's learning that the world can be safe. She nods, doesn't push for details. Well, Sophie thinks he's cool. She wants to invite him to her birthday party next month. I feel tears threatening. A birthday party, an invitation, proof that Marcus is building a life here. He'd love that. When I tell Marcus about the party, he looks scared and excited at the same time. Will there be a lot of people? Probably. Birthday parties usually have a bunch of kids. what if I don't know what to do? Then you watch what other kids do and copy them. Or you ask Sophie. Or you find me and we take a break. I can leave if it's too much? Absolutely. Anytime you want. He thinks about this. Okay, I'll try. I'll try. Not I can't. Not I'm scared. Just I'll try. This boy is learning bravery. Not the kind that means you're not scared. The kind that means you do it anyway. Chapter 8. The Boy Who Sleeps in a Bed. It's been 4 months now. 4 months of Marcus in our lives. He still sleeps under the sink most nights. He still checks locks. He still apologizes too much. He still hides food. But he laughs now. Real laughs. Often. But he plays. With Sophie at the park. With other kids at school sometimes. But he talks more. Shares his thoughts. Expresses preferences. But he hugs his father goodbye in the mornings without breaking down. He still worries, but the terror has dulled to anxiety. But he sleeps in his bed twice a week now. Sometimes 3 times. Last night, something happened. We were watching a movie, some animated thing, bright and silly. Marcus was curled up on the couch between his father and me. He was so relaxed. His body soft, not braced. His breathing even. His guard completely down. Halfway through the movie, he fell asleep. Right there on the couch, head on a pillow, mouth slightly open. Completely peaceful. We let him sleep. Covered him with a blanket. Turned the volume down. In the morning, I woke up and went to check the cabinet. Out of habit. Empty. I ran upstairs. Was he in his bed? No. He was on the couch still, where he'd fallen asleep. He'd woken up at some point, realized where he was, and stayed. Chose to stay in the open, in the soft space, in the comfort. He woke up when I came in. "Morning," he mumbled. "Morning. You slept on the couch all night." He blinked, realized. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like it was no big deal. Like sleeping in the open was just a normal thing he did now. Maybe it is. Maybe we're getting there. At breakfast, his father asks what he wants to do this weekend. Can we go to Sophie's birthday party? It's Saturday. Of course. What do you think we should get her? Marcus thinks. She likes art stuff. Maybe markers? Good idea. We'll go shopping after school. This conversation, so normal, so unremarkable. Planning for a birthday party, shopping for a present, a child having a friend. Things that should always have been normal but weren't. Things we're building now. His teacher sends an email. Marcus raised his hand in class today, answered a question voluntarily. He was right, and he smiled when I told him good job. He raised his hand, voluntarily. This child who made himself invisible is choosing to be seen. He'll probably always need the cabinet sometimes. His therapist says that's okay. Traumally. He'll probably always need the cabinet sometimes. His therapist says that's okay. Trauma leaves marks, scars, and sometimes those scars ache. The goal isn't to erase what happened. It's to build a life big enough that what happened doesn't define everything. I'm starting to see who Marcus is when he's not in survival mode. He's funny. Quietly funny. He makes little observations that crack us up. He's creative. He draws constantly. Whole worlds on paper, detailed and imagined. He's kind. Almost painfully kind. He shares everything. Worries about other people's feelings. He's smart. So smart. When he can focus, when he's not scanning for danger, his mind is sharp and curious. Sometimes I think about the Marcus who could have existed. The one who grew up safe from the beginning. Who never learned to make himself small. That Marcus is lost. We can't get him back. But this Marcus, the one who knows darkness but is learning light, he's pretty incredible too. He's brave in ways most people will never have to be. He faces his fears every single day just by existing. He's resilient. He keeps trying even when trying is terrifying. He's healing. Slowly, messily, imperfectly, but healing. I want him to sleep in his bed, most nights, eventually. I want him to stop hiding food when he truly believes there will always be more. I want him to go a whole day without apologizing for existing. I want him to make more friends, to laugh more, to play more. I want him to grow up knowing he's loved, not as a concept, but as a lived truth. But more than any of that, I want him to know he's safe. Bone deep, cellular level safe. Safe enough to be vulnerable. Safe enough to need things. Safe enough to mess up. Safe enough to be a kid. This morning, Marcus's father left for work. Marcus hugged him goodbye. "See you tonight, Dad." "See you tonight. I love you." "Love you too." And Marcus didn't go to his closet. He came and had breakfast with me. Ate cereal, watched cartoons, just continued his day. Like it was safe. Like he belonged here. Like he believed it. Tomorrow he might need the closet again. Next week he might have a nightmare. Next month some trigger might send him backward. That's okay. Healing isn't linear. Recovery isn't clean. But today, right now, he's eating cereal and laughing at a cartoon. And that's enough. They say you can't love someone into healing. And maybe that's true. But you can love someone while they heal. You can be the steady ground, the safe place, the proof that not all adults hurt you. You can sit on the floor beside the cabinet. You can cook scrambled eggs together. You can watch them play at the park and feel your heart break and mend at the same time. We're building trust, routine, safety, memory. We're teaching Marcus that people can stay, that promises can be kept, that love doesn't have to hurt. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes showing up even when progress is invisible. But it's working. Slowly. In small moments. In laughs and hugs and one night on the couch. The boy who sleeps under the sink is learning he doesn't have to anymore. He still does sometimes. Maybe he always will sometimes. But now he has choices. Bed or sink. Closet or couch. Hiding or being seen. And more, he's choosing the light. Not because the dark isn't still scary. Not because the past isn't still painful. But because now he knows something he didn't know before. The light can be safe too. And that knowledge, that tiny, fragile, growing belief, that's everything. That's the beginning of healing. That's the sound of a child learning he's allowed to stop surviving and start living. The boy who sleeps under the sink is still that boy, but he's also becoming more. He's becoming Marcus. Safe Marcus. Loved Marcus. Marcus who laughs and plays and tries. Marcus who's learning day by day, moment by moment, that he belongs here. In this house, in this family, in this life, in the light. And we'll be here, for as long as it takes, sitting beside the cabinet, cooking eggs, watching him play, loving him through every step, every laugh, every fear, every small, brave choice. He's ours now, and we're his. He'll probably always need the cabinet sometimes. His therapist says that's okay. Trauma leaves marks, scars, and sometimes those scars ache. The goal isn't to erase what happened, it's to build a life big enough that what happened doesn't define everything. I'm starting to see who Marcus is when he's not in survival mode. He's funny, quietly funny. He makes little observations that crack us up. He's creative. He draws constantly. Whole worlds on paper, detailed and imagined. He's kind, almost painfully kind. He shares everything, worries about other people's feelings. He's smart, so smart. When he can focus, when he's not scanning for danger, his mind is sharp and curious. Sometimes I think about the Marcus who could have existed, the one who grew up safe from the beginning, who never learned to make himself small. That Marcus is lost. We can't get him back. But this Marcus, the one who knows darkness but is learning light, he's pretty incredible too. He's brave in ways most people will never have to be. He faces his fears every single day just by existing. He's resilient. He keeps trying even when trying is terrifying. He's healing. Slowly, messily, imperfectly, but healing. I want him to sleep in his bed, most nights, eventually. I want him to stop hiding food when he truly believes there will always be more. I want him to go a whole day without apologizing for existing. I want him to make more friends, to laugh more, to play more. I want him to grow up knowing he's loved, not as a concept, but as a lived truth. But more than any of that, I want him to know he's safe. Bone deep, cellular level safe. Safe enough to be vulnerable. Safe enough to need things. Safe enough to mess up. Safe enough to be a kid. This morning, Marcus's father left for work. Marcus hugged him goodbye. "See you tonight, Dad. See you tonight. I love you. Love you too." And Marcus didn't go to his closet. He came and had breakfast with me, ate cereal, watched cartoons, just continued his day, like it was safe, like he belonged here, like he believed it. Tomorrow, he might need the closet again. Next week, he might have a nightmare. Next month, some trigger might send him backward. That's okay. Healing isn't linear. Recovery isn't clean. But today, right now, he's eating cereal and laughing at a cartoon. And that's enough. They say you can't love someone into healing. And maybe that's true. But you can love someone while they heal. You can be the steady ground, the safe place, the proof that not all adults hurt you. You can sit on the floor beside the cabinet. You can cook scrambled eggs together. You can watch them play at the park and feel your heart break and mend at the same time. We're building trust, routine, safety, memory. We're teaching Marcus that people can stay, that promises can be kept, that love doesn't have to hurt. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes showing up even when progress is invisible. But it's working, slowly, in small moments, in laughs and hugs and one night on the couch. The boy who sleeps under the sink is learning he doesn't have to anymore. He still does sometimes. Maybe he always will sometimes. But now he has choices. Bed or sink, closet or couch, hiding or being seen. And more, he's choosing the light. Not because the dark isn't still scary, not because the past isn't still painful, but because now he knows something he didn't know before. The light can be safe too. And that knowledge, that tiny, fragile, growing belief, that's everything. That's the beginning of healing. That's the sound of a child learning he's allowed to stop surviving and start living. The boy who sleeps under the sink is still that boy, but he's also becoming more. He's becoming Marcus, safe Marcus, loved Marcus, Marcus who laughs and plays and tries, Marcus who's learning, day by day, moment by moment, that he belongs here, in this house, in this family, in this life, in the light. And we'll be here for as long as it takes, sitting beside the cabinet, cooking eggs, watching him play, loving him through every step, every laugh, every fear, every small, brave choice. He's ours now, and we're his.